everybody, it's N to the Northernlion. I'm your boy bringing you 1080p Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer gameplay HD rock through on YouTube. Make sure to smash that like button. I can't keep that up very long, as much as I would love to continue to make fun of that kind of content. Well, who am I to say that? But in any case, I'm here taking a let's look at the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. I have a reputation as kind of someone who is into the indie scene, and people come up to me sometimes and they're like, Northernlion, you must really hate Call of Duty. How do you feel about Call of Duty? Not really. Weirdly enough, I'm in kind of a unique position. I feel like a man who was like frozen for like 100 years and then woke up in the future where everybody played Call of Duty, Call of Duty's 4, aka Modern Warfare, I guess, through to like Black Ops 2. But Black Ops 2 was actually the first modern Call of Duty game that I played. I played 1 and 2 when I was a little bit younger, but yeah, I skipped that kind of revolutionizing effect of the modern shooters that Call of Duty Modern Warfare had, and kind of jumped into Black Ops 2 and was like, you know what, this is fun multiplayer shooter. I touched the campaign for about 10 seconds and was like, nah, not for me. But I probably spent, 80 to 100 hours of the multiplayer and had a really good time. It's just kind of one of those games where you can sit down and kind of casually play a shooter and get frustrated and then, take it out on the ones you love and then come back the next day after vowing you're never going to play it again. But of course, you can't be trusted. In any case, let's just get started here. We'll talk about some of the stuff that happens in this game and what makes this different from Black Ops 2. What I'm trying to get at to set the stage here, we're just going to start with a team deathmatch game, is that my opinion is probably borderline useless on this, but I wanted to weigh in regardless because that's what this whole YouTube thing is about. I have invested about 4 hours into Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer so far. This is my first PC Call of Duty game since the first one. I played Black Ops 2 on the 360, so I'm pretty bad relative to most people. I'm playing as Brock Lee Miles, as you can see here. Hopefully Nick doesn't have a problem with that. So let's just boot in. We'll talk about the interstitial stuff or the, the surrounding stuff like the new Create a Soldier mode, new modes in the game, Extinction mode, stuff like that, the perk system, a little later. But the very first thing I think we should talk about probably is just, how does the game feel? What do we have going on in the actual, like, moment-to-moment gameplay here? Feels a lot like Black Ops 2, in my opinion. And then again, I need to put this in context and say, this is not a review from an experienced Call of Duty player. This is a review from someone who casually played Black Ops 2. There are differences. The perk system in particular has been reworked to something that is a little bit more cumbersome, in my opinion. Overall, people are going to want to know, how does this compare to Black Ops 2 multiplayer? I think perhaps not super favorably, but I'm still having a lot of fun with it nonetheless. I think it's fair to say that, of the two games I've played, I'm probably more in the Treyarch camp, the Black Ops guys, as opposed to Infinity Ward, who apparently did the Modern Warfare series before this. So we'll load into this game. Loading time's usually pretty good on the PC. I think it's because I'm running fraps at the same time. And the game looks pretty darn good. It wasn't, I'll admit, I wasn't blown away as I've been playing it so far, but it looks pretty solid. I hope that this is weird to say as someone who is playing this on the PC and does like 90% of my gaming on the PC, but I really hope that the next-gen version actually looks a little bit better because this one, it strikes me as like a really good-looking current-gen console game, even on the PC and with the settings cranked up a little bit. But you'll see that for yourself as we get in here. Alright, so it did take us a while to boot in there, but the game has begun. Okay, very, very standard gameplay here. Get out of my way, I want to kill some other American soldiers. Oh, I started with a kill. Okay, it's a good high point. Always like to see this interstitial stuff. Porter, premium dark beer, generically named. Okay, so we're playing team deathmatch. Oh lord, I am bad. But I'm using my gun to murder dudes. Left mouse button, you tap that rhythmically to fire, or hold it down if you want to get, full auto. You can use the G key to fire grenades, as well as the Q key to fire your tactical grenades. Oh, there he is. I may actually get a kill streak here. That would be like the second time that it has happened to me in my entire lifespan with this game. Holy shit. I am the greatest player of all time. I actually need to swap my gun because I ran out of ammo. Okay, a shotgun. This is perfect for me. Let me turn around. Oh, I've been killed. But anyway, okay, now that gives me a second to actually talk about what's going on here. Shift is run. You have a little bit of stamina. And of course, you can pick up ammo if you have this perk from the people that have been killed. But anyway, I got my first kill streak. This is something that is actually worth talking about when it comes to Ghosts versus Black Ops 2. How are the kill streaks? Well, I have this SATCOM here. You may remember that kind of the generic, really early game kill streak drop in Black Ops 2 was a UAV. It flew overhead. You could shoot it down. That was something that was, I don't know, a lot of people were really enamored with. And it also gave you a view of all the enemies. The SATCOM works kind of similarly, but there's actually a little bit more teamwork focused. The more SATCOMs you place around the map, the wider the spread of the kind of illuminating of enemy positions on the radar you get. So that's kind of cool, but I much prefer the UAV because as someone who does not play this at a high coordinated level, primarily I just, put my headphones on, put some music on, and drift away, as opposed to communicating with my team with where to put these SATCOMs. I also have an ammo crate. These are kind of the default kill streaks for the support class, which I'm playing as. It's not really class-based gameplay, but you can get different kinds of classes depending on... Okay, different kinds of classes have different kinds of perks by default, but you can change all that coming out of the box, I believe. Anyway, our second kill streak here is an ammo crate, so I can pop down this ammo crate, hold F, and I will get a new weapon. I'm not totally sure what the value of getting a new weapon compared to my existing weapon is. Sometimes you get a weapon that I don't really know what to do with. This seems to be some kind of weird revolver / shotgun with an incredibly long scope on it. Okay, but we'll... Oh, God! I think what might be the case here is that these maybe have more attachments than is normally admissible, and that would actually make this worthwhile. By the way, I should point out, my kill streaks... Oh, no! Oh, that was really bad. My kill streaks are persistent, which is to say, as the support class, oh, Jesus Christ. As the support class, I actually continue to get kill streaks, like even after I die, they stay there. And I don't know necessarily what makes this balanced. I just know that I like it because most of the time, I end up dying a great deal. So the possibility of getting to those high-level kill streaks is actually quite nice. Maybe it casualizes the game a little bit, but, not to sound a little bit reductive here, but we are talking about Call of Duty. It's kind of like the fun factor is the most important part here for me. So, Team Deathmatch will end when a team hits 75 kills, I believe. So we got a pretty close game going on here. Let's move onwards. And then after this, I'll probably leave and we'll probably play a game of Domination, just to give you the basic feel for how this game goes. I should use grenades more. That's how I get the vast majority of my kills. It didn't work. Yeah, we'll play Domination and then we'll talk about some of the new modes. I probably won't actually play a game of Extinction because it takes forever, but that mode is kind of cool, like a horde mode. Kind of like a better version of Aliens Colonial Marines. Multiplayer for sure, except, there's no... asymmetrical gameplay where people play as the aliens. But I feel a little bit overwhelmed here. To be honest with you, there's an awful lot to talk about when it comes to a game like this. Okay, what is this? It looks like I'm shooting cotton balls at people. There are, as someone who didn't play Modern Warfare 3, all of this is coming from my Black Ops 2 experience, but there are some kind of familiar kill streaks. That was the... basically the same as the Hellfire missiles, sort of, that get thrown down. But I will say that on a kill streak level, I think I much prefer the kind of like visceral perks, visceral kill streaks of Black Ops 2 to what I've seen in Ghost so far. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like passive. You just toss it on the ground and let it be. There's sentry guns and there's, the ammo crates, as you have seen me put down, and other stuff like that. But I'm kind of miss, the Hellfire missiles and weird-ass, like, Wall-E robots going on the ground. I'll take a weapon here, I don't know. This also gives my teammates some extra value. We just got our asses kicked. I thought we were, like, tied a second ago. They got 25 kills in the time that we got, like, 9. Alright, well, truth be told, 8-8 is pretty good for me. Some very good guys on the other team, though. So the other thing I wanted to point out is that there are still care packages in the game. The way you get a care package is sometimes you respawn, and or sometimes during a life, your squad leader will give you field orders. So it'll be like, kill 2 people with a knife during this life, and if you do that, then you get the opportunity to get a care package, and the care package can be things like sentry guns and whatnot. Basically, it's just like another kill streak that comes in. I kind of prefer having the care package as an option that I could take from a kill streak standpoint. But anyway, that's Team Deathmatch. It feels a lot like Call of Duty. There's differences. People go prone a lot more, it seems, and instead of like the weird ass like running dive into prone, people like do a dive into like a knee slide, which is, it feels a little bit different, but truth be told, as someone who has only played Black Ops 2, never played any of the earlier Modern Warfare games, it still seems to fit in perfectly fine. Let's leave the lobby here. It might take a little while to get used to again. And I'm probably a little bit biased, but I say that I prefer kind of like the feel and the weight of Black Ops 2 a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure this is the same engine here. So, we also have the creative soldier mechanic here. So, again, I'm playing as Broccoli Miles. You can find him at youtube.com/BroccoliMiles. More than a passing resemblance, by the way. Oop, I didn't want to unlock a squad member, but we can unlock a variety of squad members here to kind of tailor our soldier as we see fit. But also when you go in here, you can edit their loadouts. You can also buy new loadout slots, which is ridiculous to me, because why would I take anything but Nordic Thunder? But let's go in here and we'll talk about the perk system and the unlock system and whatnot. So you may remember that Black Ops 2 functioned on something called a pick 10 system. So basically, between your primary, secondary, lethal tactical perks and kill streaks, I believe you only had like an opportunity to take 10 things. So what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe one of these doesn't actually count. Or maybe that's exclusively for the perk system. I can't remember. In any case, basically, you have the opportunity for perks, I believe you can take up to 5. So essentially, I hope I'm not. No, I think maybe you can take up to 10. This is my mistake here. Again, I basically just take like passive perks and then move on. But each perk has a different kind of value associated with it. And you can take those up to 10, I believe. Sorry, the perk system is up to 10. So you could take like 1 worth 5, for example. Or maybe you could take, 3 worth 3 and then 1 worth 1. So I guess as you get further and further along here, they are worth more value in-game as well. So let's, like an early perk might be weapon is faster, or weapon is ready faster after sprinting, which is fairly easy and fairly useful actually for someone like me. But then if we go to like a 5-level perk, consecutive kills increase the chance to deal more damage with bullet weapons. That seems really awesome actually. How about this? Increased damage dealt with explosives. That seems really good as well. Whereas if you look at the ones down here, additional tactical equipment, that's all right. I've taken an additional lethal equipment because grenades are basically the only way I can get kills in my incredibly low skill level. So, that's the kind of system that works here. If you're wondering, you're like, Northernlion, you seem pretty confused about this perk system. I am a little bit, quite honestly. To me, it made a lot more sense in Black Ops 2, and I think it was a little bit more easily conveyed, whereas in this, I've kind of been left to my own devices to figure it out as I go. I haven't read any, pre-release coverage on this, any previews, or the instruction manual that digitally came with the game. Just kind of figured it out for myself the way that I think most people probably will. So, this is what I've gone with so far. You can unlock new perks. I think they are locked by a couple of different metrics. One of them is squad points. You earn these as you play through the game, and the better you do, the more squad points you get. So you can see that something like Stalker, move faster while aiming. This costs 9 squad points. It's pretty cost prohibitive for me right now, although, I've gotten a lot of squad points over the course of my play so far. And also, I believe this is the rank. So I'm only rank 9. I won't be able to unlock, say, Overkill, carry 2 primary weapons, until rank 48, which is probably, at least 25 to 30 hours into the game for an average person, maybe. So there is a lot of stuff to unlock here and a lot of customization, which is cool. It is, in my opinion, perhaps a little bit more cumbersome than in Black Ops 2. We can also, of course, pick up, new kinds of weapons. I could go with a riot shield or a combat knife. I don't actually want to go with a combat knife. What was the weapon I was just using? I tend to go with SMGs because I find those much more useful as someone who is not very good at aiming and just kind of wants to spray and pray. Something like a vector is pretty good. And, a variety of different scopes. The number of squad points that it requires to unlock these is pretty high. But you can very easily see it communicated in the bottom right in weapon stats, how much these will help you out. So I like going with the red dot sight. Because it's relatively cheap to purchase and additionally is not really that expensive. And we can get a second attachment for our gun, like maybe we want to go with maybe armor piercing here. So we'll pay 3 squad points for armor piercing bullets. Cool. Alright, so after that, we can unlock a perk that gives us an extra attachment. We could change the reticle for ourselves after we get certain challenges in the game complete. That's basically irrelevant. Same with our secondary here. There are launchers. The launchers, as far as I've heard, have been exclusively, they're manual aim. No longer are you going to like lock onto a UAV or something and shoot it down. Although apparently you can shoot down some of the overhead support with just machine guns. But I prefer to just go with a handgun. And I would rather not waste squad points getting an attachment because one thing I wanted to point out, and this does fit into what I was just talking, even though it looks like kind of a cumbersome segue, I don't know how I feel about playing this game with keyboard and mouse. Aiming, thumbs up, man. PC Master Race. It's way easier and faster to aim with the mouse sensitivity up with keyboard and mouse. But it does feel like a game that's kind of designed with the controller in mind. Switching to your secondary weapon is 2. That's not that bad. It's fairly standard for first-person shooters, but when you want to switch to your secondary quickly, kind of miss just like tapping I think it was the B button, tapping the B button to quickly pull out your pistol seemed way better than like taking your finger off of W, which is your move key, and moving it up to 2. Similarly, if I just kind of like go back here to the options menu, you can look at the controls and you can see if I go to like movement, there's a lot of unbound controls here. And you know, we could bind these if we wanted to, but it does feel like these are perhaps things that are more focused on the controller or designed with the controller in mind, as opposed to something like a Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is obviously, it works with the controller, you're going to get your ass kicked, but the PC controls are probably optimal. I believe that aiming-wise, I didn't mean to go back here, aiming-wise, the PC control in Ghosts, fine, definitive even, but the other, like, kind of, you know, weird little movement controls, I don't necessarily agree that the PC is the best way to do this. By the way, I should point out here, before we actually get into a Domination game, the reason I'm only doing Team Deathmatch and Domination, yes, there are new modes in Call of Duty Ghosts. I believe Blitz is one of them, and Infected is one of them. So Infected is, if you're eliminated as a survivor, you become infected, and if you infect everyone or survive, you win. And Blitz is, so I guess it's kind of just like, not Domination, but you hang out in an enemy zone and you stay there. And the longer you stay in there, the more points that you get. Very, very few people play these. And I mean, obviously, this is a game that has a much more kind of wide console presence than it does on the PC. But, you know, you can look at Team Deathmatch. A third of the people online right now are playing Team Deathmatch. And if I go to Domination, about a sixth of the people online are playing Domination. And then, are there any modes that even come close to that after this? Okay, Ground War is basically just like big Team Deathmatch and Domination. So you can just lump that in with everything else. I guess Free For All is reasonably popular. And Kill Confirmed, which is basically, again, just augmented Team Deathmatch. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, these are the primary modes. If you're going to spend, like, 60 hours with the adversarial multiplayer in this game, you are probably going to do it with Team Deathmatch and Domination. I hope we go to Stonehaven here. I think Stonehaven is a better map. Or a more fun map, at least. I'll vote for it. Assuming that vote actually came in. You must wait 3 seconds between votes. I only want to vote once. It's okay. Okay, so we're going to go to the castle map here. And we'll do Domination. Domination is essentially capture the flag, sort of, or hold the zones. And if you hold the zones, you get points. Kind of works like Company of Heroes multiplayer, for example. You hold the zones. If you hold 2 of them, they hold 1. You get 2 points per tick. They get 1 point per tick. If you hold all 3, you get 3 points per tick. They get 0. And I think it's the first team to hit 200, at least in non-ground war Domination. And the reason I want to play a little bit more of the kind of the customary modes is again, it gives you a good baseline to compare how this is to previous Call of Duty games, because that's something I can't really tell you, especially if we're talking about Modern Warfare 3, and also to show off some of the maps. I'm glad we're going to Stonehaven. The last map that we played, that was the first time I've actually ever been on that one, I think, but they are pretty large, so it's difficult to tell sometimes. Stonehaven's a cool map. It's a castle. That's basically all there is to say about that. It's not like playing Chivalry Deadliest Warrior, but it does give it a little bit of a Deadliest Warrior type vibe. And this is one of the better looking maps, I would say, in the game, just from like a visual standpoint. Allow me to caffeinate here for a second as we go through these loading times. Again, the loading times, this is pretty much exclusively because I'm using fraps. I'm glad that the game seems to be holding up pretty well while I'm running fraps, and the game at high settings as well. So that's good, but the loading times do suffer. It's not the game's fault. We're about to get in here in like 2 seconds. I will say, from a technical level, I've already talked about how the graphics, good, but not necessarily blowing me away. I do occasionally encounter frame rate issues even when I'm not running my capture software when I play the game. That sucks pretty hard because, you know, I played Splinter Cell Blacklist on Ultra and did not encounter any frame rate hiccups at all. But I get frame rate hiccups in this, even though I think this, I wouldn't necessarily say it looks like vastly worse than Blacklist, but it is a little bit less visually impressive. Mind you, the scope of what you're doing is oftentimes a lot larger. As you can see, like, this map's pretty big. Anyway, that's all I'm getting to there. It's not enough to make me, like, really annoyed, but it is a little bit irritating. Oh my god, what is this? This guy jumped! You can do that? He's been playing before, I can tell you that much. At least I know this map, so I know where to spam my grenades to hopefully help me get some kills. So we're just gonna duck in through the castle wall here, and if I... Cool! Oh no! Not yet! I'm not ready to die. Okay, I'm alive again. Believe it or not, the play that you are seeing me do here, well, not that time maybe, but apart from that, this is some of the best Call of Duty play I've ever done, and I very rarely perform well in videos relative to how I do off camera. So this is a new kind of era for me. Oh, get away from me, you Vlasic! His name actually is Vlasic, right? I'm not just being an asshole. I thought there was a dude there, but maybe he got downed. Okay, that was terrible. One of the most annoying things about the game is that you're constantly bumping into your teammates. It seems like if there's a choke point and you're like cooking a grenade, wow, camping pussies. Also, you know, there is something to be said. Ooh, again, spray and pray. There is something to be said for the kind of acerbic community that you end up dealing with here. This is probably like the first PC game that I've played in a long time, let's put it that way, where people just kind of unsolicited go into voice chat and yell at you sometimes. It's a weird thing to get used to. It happens so rarely that it's almost a novelty to me at this point, and I'm hard-pressed to say that it's explicitly a negative, but guard dog is another perk, by the way. Obviously, the dog thing is something that has been harped on a lot. I don't really understand it as someone who does not follow the cycle of annual FPS releases with any kind of regularity. I really thought I could probably get through there and kill him. Sadly, no. So again, we're about a quarter of the way through this game. It seems like we're actually winning, but that could change. I really like, I should have talked about this when we were in the create a soldier mode, but I really like that there is this support class, which I'm playing as right now, which seems to be a little bit more geared towards casual play. I guess this guy doesn't want to capture this point. That's fine. He's got a guard dog. He can do whatever he wants. I probably should have seen that guy coming. So what this means is essentially I do get the opportunity to actually use kill streaks in the like 80 to 100 hours of Black Ops 2 that I played. And you know, if you think I'm bad at this, you should have seen when I first got started playing Black Ops 2 and was just like, oh, there's a sprint key in my first-person shooters? Well, I never, right? Like, it is fair to say that the Call of Duty franchise did revolutionize modern shooters. Even if you don't necessarily like it, it changed the way a lot of modern shooters play. The last quote-unquote modern shooter that I played was like fucking Halo 2 before Black Ops 2, so it was something that was a bit of an adjustment period for me. You play these games very differently than you play other first-person shooters from my era, I should say. Okay, so I was like surrounded completely there. I will say, is Ghosts or Call of Duty in general my favorite multiplayer experience of all time? No, it's not. I like it, and I could easily, I think, find myself spending, 60 to 100 hours. I'm behind the flag. You can't shoot me. 60 to 100 hours with Ghosts multiplayer. But it's a little draining, man. Oh no. It's really chaotic, and I'm not anti-video game violence at all, but I do find it sometimes like a little bit stressful because I'm constantly being shot. Maybe it's just I'm getting older or something, but something like Chivalry Deadliest Warrior I've been having a ton of fun with. It's casual, you die, you don't feel bad. But in this, like, death is so sudden and it comes out of, that's an enemy satcom, right? Or is that our satcom? I can't tell. Death is sudden and violent, and it sometimes comes out of nowhere. And did I kill somebody there? I probably did not deserve to. And I defended the objective. Okay. What I'm getting at is sometimes it does grate on me a little bit playing these first-person shooters, and it's nothing to do with, like, these are so derivative. I don't care about that, Call of Duty is one of those games where, yes, or one of those franchises. Is it innovative year after year? Probably not, no. But, people have no problem with Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2, but they have a huge problem with Call of Duty. I'm probably, like, angering people just by saying that. And again, I'll admit, I'm a little ignorant to the perception of these games because I was out of the loop for so long. What is this? Looks like another shotgun. Oh, yeah! Okay. That being said, as much as I've talked about, the violence being frustrating, it's also really exhilarating when you shoot somebody in the face and they die and you're like, yeah, fuck you, I'm the greatest. I don't know, it's some kind of like primal influence there. But yeah, games like Payday 2 change slightly and everyone's like, oh, fuck yeah, Payday 2. Games like Left 4 Dead 2, people play that all the time and they don't have to feel ashamed about it. But with Call of Duty, there's always this air of like, well, yeah, I know I'm ashamed of myself for playing Call of Duty, but, I promise I play other games too. It's a guilty pleasure. That's bullshit, man. If you like Call of Duty, play Call of Duty. You don't need any of this, like, oh, what the heck? You don't need to go through this elaborate song and dance. Whether you think it's a good game or a respectable game, the games are extremely well made, and they're made by very talented people, and that deserves respect in and of itself, even if I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it. Same with something like Madden, when was the last Madden I played? Like 8 years ago. I have great respect for the people who make Madden because, you're coordinating like a quadrillion-dollar project and releasing it year after year. This guy's got to be dead, right? Yeah. Again, I'm not saying that either Ghosts or Madden are my favorite franchise of all time. I'm just saying I think they get a lot of shit, and some of that shit is deserved, and some of it is blown out of proportion so that people can feel included. Anyway, I totally forgot what I was talking about. That was a long rant. But we are a little bit closer to victory here, and I may actually be able to get my final kill streak. That was something I was going to talk about before, is that in Black Ops 2, over my like 80 to 100 hours, I probably got like my final level of kill streaks like 4 or 5 times total. It's like once every 20 hours. That's pretty bad. Whereas in this, as the support class, where kill streaks continue to kind of pile up after your death, I have managed to get that multiple times. Mind you, it's not nearly as spectacular as, you know, getting an attack chopper or something like that. It's just something that reveals enemy silhouettes in kind of like this neon orange, so they're much, much easier to shoot. But still, it's nice to feel rewarded like that. And again, that might be a casualizing element to a certain extent, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna try to capture B, I guess. B is like a really easily spammed point. Let's try to get ourselves in there and you know, put the team on our back, basically. I'm being shot at. If you get shot at before you know where the enemy is, just like kiss it goodbye, basically. So I'll just spam grenades at this guy. I thought I saw like a shadow. That might have been the shadow of a bird. Those are things I thought I'd never say in video games when I started playing them like 15 years ago. 15 years ago. I'm older than that. Anyway, are there any people in here that want my life force? Okay, you are dead. Few more kill. Okay, we got our field orders. Good. So if I actually manage to kill someone with melee, I will receive a care package, which is pretty valuable. I've managed to succeed on field orders a couple of times. Oh, come on. But it's largely in situations where I probably would have done things that same way anyway. Like, get 2 kills with a weapon you picked up. When I get that field order, I'm like, alright, I got a chance. When I get the field order that's like, kill an enemy while jumping, it's like, wow, okay, well, better luck next time, Northernlion. Alright, please. Yes! Extra points for killing the guy in first place. I also have to add that I really like the kind of interface that we have going on here in the multiplayer mode of the game. You can see up in the top right, I can see my stats really, really easily, which, let's be honest, when you're playing a multiplayer game, at least a team deathmatch mode, and you pull up the scoreboard, that's what you're looking at. You're like, oh, we suck, but my kills and deaths are really good. So I like that that's on the screen at all times, and it's relatively unobtrusive. We can actually toggle the scoreboard on, and it takes up a little bit more space, but we can continue playing the game. Oh, God. I'm gonna die here. We can continue playing the game with that on regardless if we wanted to. But also it tells you, you know, how you're doing, what your score is, and what the person directly above you on the scoreboard has, so that you can, you know, plan or connive or find some way to get past them. It gives you something to strive for. And it doesn't really take up a lot of screen space, which I think is very nice. So this game is about to be over. We got like 10 seconds left. I actually did get the Oracle. Holy shit. Please, yeah! So if I hit 7 on the keyboard here, that should give me the Oracle, and I actually ranked up as well. So now enemy positions, I'll die here probably, but enemy positions should be outlined in orange every time that like this Oracle does a pass. Okay, well the game's over anyway, but that was a pretty good example of a very good domination mode, or domination game. I like that a lot. And we can see the final kill here, of course. So after this, good game, camping pussies.
It needs to be like 16 versus 16, man. It's too big.
Yeah. He's right. Are you listening, Infinity Ward? GG Envy Skin says it needs to be 16-16, man. He's a game designer. He's just playing this on his own time right now. In any case, like, fuck me for making fun of that guy when I'm doing exactly the same thing here, just in a formal codified video for YouTube. I'm like, here's my criticisms about the game. Oh, this guy has criticisms? Fuck him. Anyway. What I meant to say, or one thing I last meant to cover here when it comes to creating a soldier here, is you can choose your strike packages by class. This is what I mean when I say that you can pick a class. These classes have kind of passive perks associated with them. Assault gives you packages that that punish the other team. Support gives you packages that support your team, and also your streak count persists through death. And Specialist gives you extra perks through your streak, which is kind of cool. But your rewards reset upon death too. Interesting. Anyway, obviously we're going with support here, and we can choose, you know, what we want here. I'm just going with the standard SATCOM, which gives you enemy movements basically in the ammo crate. But I could deploy some ballistic vests. That would probably be more useful. Actually, I could unlock fighter jets to destroy enemy aircraft. I don't think I would get that much use out of that. What do we have here? Support squad mate. That's probably we get like an AI companion with a riot shield or something. A companion drone that detects enemies based on proximity. Let me see if there's anything in here that would be great. Provide sniper support from a controllable helicopter. That seems like it could be useful. I see this Juggernaut all the time. But I really like the Oracle. I think the Oracle's good. But it is 14 kills, right? So I usually get like one of those per match. So maybe I want to get something a little bit lower here. Instead of weapons, maybe we go for a ballistic vest. Those could be useful. So sure, we'll purchase those. And we'll activate those by turning off the ammo crate, I guess, and we'll get the ballistic vest instead. Okay, so we could tailor this. We could have, like, a bunch of really early kill streak rewards that we can deploy maybe multiple times, or we could go for all late-game stuff and just try to trounce the enemy, you know, hit him where it really hurts. So let's talk about some of the other stuff that is not domination and deathmatch. By the way, you can unlock other soldiers. You can also play as a female soldier in this game if you are interested in doing so. I don't have anything to say about that except, you know, good on Infinity Ward for allowing more customization options. So, some of the other stuff in the game. I'm not going to touch on it too much, but if I hit escape at the main menu here, you can see the other two modes are Squads and Extinction. I'm not going to touch Extinction, but I'll probably play it on the NLSS once or twice. It is Horde mode with aliens, basically, if that makes sense. You have 4 people, and imagine it's kind of like Left 4 Dead. They give you an objective. Usually that objective, or maybe always that objective, is to, like, put a drill on an enemy alien hive, and then, you know, you put the drill on, the wave starts, aliens come at you, blah, blah. You use, every time you kill an alien, you get money. You use that money to buy things that are good for your team. Like, you can activate electric fences. You can, you know, buy new weapons. You can contribute to, like, a team collective fund to buy an attack chopper that can come in and mow down some aliens. It's cool. It works really well. It feels a lot like playing Payday the Heist or a lot like playing Left 4 Dead 2. And you know what? If that's contained within this game, that's already like a $20 or $30 value at that point. I think Extinction mode is good. It's not the most fun I've ever had with a multiplayer game, but it is kind of a cool way of playing Ghosts in a cooperative fashion, and there may be more coverage of this on the channel at some point. Squads is weird, and to some extent this kind of highlights that I may be turning into an old man, because when I like log into a first-person shooter, here's what the menu looks like to me. Nonsense, nonsense, team deathmatch, quit. Like, that is what my brain is hardwired to see. Or maybe a practice mode with bots. Squads effectively is that practice mode with bots, but gussied up into, like, this, I don't know, fancy-looking mode that is a little bit confusing to me. I played a little bit. So here's the way Squads works. Basically, you can build your own AI squad if you want to. This is not Rainbow Six or even Take Down Red Saber. You're not leading them into the area A and B and open, flash, and clear, and I'm Ding Chavez, suck my dick, right? That's not what you're doing here. You just create them, and then they shoot enemies in the face. And so you play Squad Assault, which is basically like a team deathmatch mode, against bots. This is bots. You're playing against bots. The cool thing about it, potentially, if you're into it, is that there is it squad versus, yeah, squad versus squad, is you play and your squad plays against another player-controlled person and their squad. So it's basically like 1v1 with AI on both sides. Why you would play this beyond, or instead of playing the actual, like, full multiplayer modes, I have to imagine it just comes down to, like, practice. Like, if you're intimidated by playing against people who are very good online, you could play, you know, Squad Assault and practice up a little bit. The bots are not particularly bad. They're pretty good. I did have one game with bots where I went, like, 10-1, but then I had one game with bots where I went, like, 2-9. So it varies. That's basically how I do in the multiplayer mode as well. Lots of games that are like 0.8 kill death ratio, and then a couple of games that are like 2 kill death ratio, and a couple of games that are like 0 kill death ratio. So why you would play that beyond the multiplayer mode is a little bit lost on me for now. But anyway, that's probably going to do it for my Let's Look At of Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. I will not be doing a Let's Look At of the single player because I'm not going to play the single player. And I think the vast majority of people who are interested in this game are probably going to be playing it with the multiplayer in mind, if I had to guess. Anyway, how does it compare to Black Ops? Get out of my game, Courage Just. He couldn't hear me there. I wasn't actually just being an asshole to one of my Steam friends. How does it compare to Black Ops 2? You know, I read the reviews of Ghosts, and a lot of people say it's different, but as someone who is, you know, this is my second modern Call of Duty game, feels very, very similar, variations on a theme. I will say that I think Call of Duty Ghosts is maybe or sorry, I should say Black Ops 2. Let's put the comparison in this context. I think Black Ops 2 is a little bit more over the top, a little bit more visceral. I like the kill streaks a little bit more. I also think it was a little bit more intuitive and kind of easy to understand. Like the perk and customization system was a little bit easier to understand as someone who was kind of new to the series. That being said, I think Ghosts is still, it's more of the same, and I would not be surprised if I end up, you know, basically what did I do with Black Ops 2? When I went home to my ancestral home for Christmas, I played like 3 hours of Black Ops 2 a night, and that's how I amassed like 20 or 30 hours onto that game. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up doing that with Ghosts as well. This is a game you can jump into, you know, have fun for a couple of hours, the hours kind of melt away, and I don't want to be the guy that is here saying, oh, please leave Call of Duty alone. Like, it gets such a bad rap. Obviously, you know, the companies and studios and publishers involved with this have been laughing all the way to the bank for a long time. But I do think it catches a little bit of a higher focus of flack than other games that are guilty of doing the same kind of things. I don't think Call of Duty Ghosts revolutionizes multiplayer gaming. I don't think it's the best first-person shooter ever made. I think it's fun. I think it's an inoffensive $60 purchase, even if you only talk about the multiplayer. And this is a game that I could easily see myself spending a lot of time with over the holiday season. And it may indeed become my multiplayer game of choice for the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. If that's not cool with you, maybe you want to pass on Ghosts. There's not really much more I can say. Obviously, I'm coming into this with kind of a weird perspective as someone who has largely been ignorant of the Call of Duty franchise until literally last year. But that's my perspective, and that's honesty. And if that's not what you're here for, then I apologize for not affirming your beliefs on it. But that's, you know, I played it. We're probably up to about 5 hours now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope beyond all else you actually trust that I'm giving you my objective, unbiased opinion here. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think it's a casual bit that you can just jump into. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to show your support by clicking the like button. It's the easiest way that you can help me out. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more first impressions in the future. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time.